Podcast 48 action. All righty then. Looky here. Welcome to the STONED Roadie show. All the skin information y'all want to know is on the STONED Roadie show. And this is your host, the STONED Roadie, Craig Reed, and this is my co-host, Mr. Griff Martin. Now, why don't you take it away with Pair Podcast 48, Griff Martin?
Yeah, Craig said the STONED Roadie show, all the skin information that you need to know, and that skin formation is developing new every day too when it comes to the STONED Roadie, because Craig makes his own history as he lives and breathes. I put a post up on Facebook about Craig. Craig had a little. A lot of you know Craig had a little incident on his birthday, but I was getting like messages. My phone was blowing up. Craig's in the hospital. Craig's in the hospital. And I was like, oh my God, I was thinking maybe I was going to have to jump on a plane or something and go up and see if I could donate some blood or something, and give him some blood that didn't have a whole lot of THC in it. But Craig, you had a birthday party, and and birthday parties are supposed to be fun. They're not supposed to be going to the hospital on a gurney. So why don't you, because I really don't even know a lot of the specifics myself. I know a little bit about it, but we're going to talk about Craig, what happened on his birthday. And then I went through YouTube because there's a lot of people on YouTube that are getting pissed off because we don't answer any YouTube questions. So just to be fair, yeah. So I took some questions off of YouTube. But the crazy thing is I got these stickers that I said I was gonna put up on YouTube for people to basically, all you had to do was just email me whenever I told you that you were a winner, and it's signed by Gene Odom and Craig Reed, and all you had to do was say read the replies to the YouTube notice that I gave you, and I would send you a sticker, but nobody did that. So you need to go on to all the replies, some of the comments that you YouTube people put on there, and take a look and see if you're not a winner, because I did reply to 5 people, and you can get one of these. It's a Hell House painting sticker, and Craig Reed and Gene Odom, both plane crash survivors, signed it. They were part of the original Lynyrd Skynyrd. So that's a little update. And we're going to be answering some questions from YouTube. But I know a lot of people are wanting to hear the story about Craig and his birthday. So, Craig, what the heck happened on your birthday, man?
Well, I got to my party there, and I was about the first one there, and somebody had given me a special brownie, and they told me that to be careful, but I've ate so much of that stuff, and hash oil fudgies from San Francisco, and I've eaten edibles all over the place, but yeah, I didn't heed much of a warning, and I actually took some video, got the on the road with the STONED Roadie at his birthday party, and I did some filming, and haven't edited it out yet. I got Jeff sitting here, and we're gonna do this podcast, and then we're gonna find a place to edit in this film. You'll see that there's not much of the brownie missing, and man, it was strong. And and by the time people were getting there, they could see that I was pretty messed up, and they were kind of intimidated by to eat any of that stuff, you know, and they all had a little taste of it, you know, but oh, by the time I started coming on to it real strong, everybody there was starting to get a little buzz off of it too. Plus, they were all drinking beer, and I think there was some moonshine there, and they were all, and everybody was drinking except for me. I quit drinking, so I wasn't drinking. But yeah, when I started having an issue, I kind of just wanted to go home, but there was there was nobody able to like take me home, and I guess like I guess I kind of like blacked out for a little bit. And they as a bunch of younger people, you know, and here I am, this 72-year-old man I'm sitting there with this blank stare on my face, and they said they was slapping me, trying to get me to focus, and I was sitting there the whole time, and I was totally conscious. I couldn't move my legs, and I couldn't talk very good, and I was trying to say, you know, why don't you somebody just take me home, but everybody was afraid that I'd get in their car and die or something. And they were all pretty high, so I guess it was decided that if I would have just sat there for a few hours, I'd have been okay. But they kind of called 911 because they were scared, and then 911 left, and all my vitals and everything were good. You know, I mean, my blood pressure was fine, and my oxygen was 100%, and
You were correct. You were in another dimension.
oh yeah, you know, I actually there at one point I thought I was in another, you know, I did some experimenting with them mushrooms, you know, and there was one time I kind of thought I was in another dimension, you know, and I kind of, yeah, I had some weird thoughts while all this was happening to me, you know. But yeah, but finally, yeah, I said the paramedics left, and then I said, well, maybe somebody could take me home, but everybody was still too messed up, and I said, it feels like that other piece that it takes a couple hours, I guess, for them brownies to kick in, and I guess the other one, the first one was wearing off when the second one started to kick in. And I said, it's starting to happen again, and so they called 911, and this time they took me away, and yeah, it was pretty amusing. Those ambulance guys knew I was semi-famous, you know, and people were telling them who I was and stuff, so they were kind of interested in my stories, and I was telling them all about the Stone Roadie show, and they were they were all looking it up on their computers. When I got to the emergency room, they all went and got on the computer and looked at the Stone Roadie show, and one of the guys come back in and said that, you know, yeah, Annie wants to be your roadie, you know, and I never did tell them that I was eating brownies. I think they probably figured it out when they tested my blood and saw it was 100% THC level. That was probably the highest level of THC they had ever had with some 72-year-old man. But I'm here to tell you, marijuana won't kill you. You'll think you're gonna die, but I thought about my will and stuff, and
Well, Craig, from what I saw a picture of the cake after you ate some of the brownies, and it didn't look like a snack. It looked like a meal. There was two sides of the brownies missing. And I was thinking, you know, maybe he tried one and nothing happened. So he tried another one and nothing happened. Then he tried another one. And then finally it all happened at once, huh?
Well, it takes a couple hours for it to kick in, you know, and I know that, you know, from previous experiences, but I was just, you know, I just kept eating it, you know, and but I kept you'll see that I'll show the cake here pretty soon. They put some cool artwork on it. I took my that the STONED Roadie emblem, the little sign thing that I have, and they traced it, and they put it down. They put it down, and then they put a sheet of wax paper down, and then they could see through it, and they traced the STONED Roadie, and then they froze it, and then put it on the cake. Looked pretty cool. So I didn't want to mess with the artwork, so I kept eating the corners, you know. And I ate all four corners and down one side, and then it hit me. And you know, they talk about you know, some weed being a head high and some weed being a body high. Yeah, I was both. I couldn't move my body. My legs wouldn't work, and I couldn't talk very good. I could think, but my lips wouldn't work, you know. And yeah,
Well,
it was interesting. Yeah.
you got to the hospital and then you called and left a message and it says, "Yeah, it's me. I'm in the hospital and I'm okay. Don't worry about it. Bye." And so I'm going, well, what the hell's wrong with him? You know, did he have a heart attack? You know, did he fall down and hit his head? I didn't know the specifics, right? And then a couple people started like filling me in on what was going on. And once I found out there was a brownie involved, I thought, oh, okay. Well, Craig was probably munching on too many brownies, and then so I was able to tell people you were going to be all right. But there for a while, I was worried about you. I thought maybe you know you might have got out there on that banshee and hit your head on a tree or something.
Yeah, that was it was an unusual experience. It's funny now that it all went, you know, now that it's all over with. It's kind of funny, I guess. I mean, and not I'm sure probably some of you paramedics are watching this because you're probably want to know that I'm going to do another podcast and then see if I'm going to talk about my experience with y'all. And you know, you guys on the EMT out here, and I'm in Smallville out here in Ohio, and this is Smallville, like the Superman, you know? Out here in Smallville. Yeah, we have a good EMT or whatever, the EMP staff or whatever. Yeah, they were really professional. I'm sure they were kind of confused as to what was going on with me, but I imagine somebody probably figured out, you know, that you know they just couldn't believe that, you know, somebody my age with my experience with them bands and stuff was so healthy, you know, because all my everything was, they just couldn't figure it out. You know, they asked me what kind of medication and I took. I said, I don't take any
Well,
medication.
Craig, let me ask you this question. Being how you are the STONED Roadie and you are a professional, uh, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you say that high was on that scale?
Oh, that was an 11. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that was an 11. Yeah,
I thought you told me that was the highest you'd ever been.
oh yeah, that yeah, yeah.
So you heard it here first, all you people out there that are doing meth and crack and heroin and all of these other drugs. You know, you don't have to do those drugs. You can just make an extra strong brownie, and then you can go to another dimension.
People, you know, and I do have friends that aren't that are normal. You know, I do have a couple of normal friends, and when I try to explain to them how I think this is all rational, they kind of they kind of don't get it. You know, why I seem like I can't live life without being stoned. You know, but man, you know what? This whole dang world we're living in, it's just it's just I don't know. It seems to me like there's about 6 or 7 families that just run everything that's going on, and they just make up things to and tell people and just and people just eat it up and believe it. There's just so much weird stuff going on right now. It's just
Yeah.
like I almost have to.
There's Chinese balloons floating over the country and nobody cares. And,
Yeah, that guy that is supposed to won that election got more votes than anybody in history, and he wasn't even really high on the when they were trying to choose a president. He wasn't even the top one on the list, and then he ends up getting more votes than Hillary ever did, or the Great White Hope, or whatever, Obama, or whoever that, whatever they call that, whatever. But yeah, it's
so
if people.
Craig, are you trying to say that it's Joe Biden's fault that you ate those brownies?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It ain't Trump's fault, that's for sure. It's Joe Biden's fault. I ate the brownies.
Well,
They try
I
to
tell you,
blame everything on it.
that's
Yeah, it
not
is. As a matter of fact, it is. If Trump was president, I wouldn't have ate them brownies. Everything would be fine.
but for all you kids out there, don't be going and trying to make some brownies, because I tell you, or if somebody offers you a brownie, you don't know what the strength of that brownie is.
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah. I'm
that
not.
right,
I'm
Craig?
I'm not promoting edibles. It's like I said, it's kind of for me. It's kind of funny because I go through this kind of stuff quite often. It's just kind of like the life of the Stone Roadie. Something I always.
There may have been somebody that smoked a joint and went to the emergency room, but no, I don't think there's too many people that smoked a joint and went to the emergency room. But we definitely know of a guy who ate a brownie and went to the emergency room. So I would say stick to the smoking, and stay away from the eating part
Yeah,
there. Because
those
that
were.
body high, I mean, if you're smoking, you can still walk, but that body high from those edibles, it's not good if you can't walk. I heard that your eyes were open, but you didn't have a pulse.
No, I was like, I don't have my vitals right here. I got the piece of paper, but yeah, everything. I mean, everything was perfect on me, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. I suppose they probably figured it out since I told them I was the Stone Roadie, and they listened to that thing that said that Ron Eckerman did, that said that I was the only person that he knew that could function on a full stone except for Willie Nelson. I imagine they probably got figured part of it out anyways. But
Speaking of Ron Eckerman, I have the Ron Eckerman book right here, and
it's a good book.
it's it's a pretty good book. Anybody wants to get that book and read it, I think you're in this book, right, Craig? As far as
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
that's kind of one of the reasons I became the world's most famous roadie ever, from Gene Odom's 2 books, and then Larry Steele wrote the book, and then Paul Abraham wrote the book, and a few
well,
other people wrote a book.
here's Paul
My name's
Abraham.
in all those books, so they.
There's Paul Abraham's book, and actually, I think he just got a whole bunch of new books because he's going to some kind of a thing. If anybody wants this this book, The Gospel According to Paul Abraham, send me an email and I'll get you hooked up with how you can get one of those. He may even sign it. Yeah, send me an email to that email address. There's some other scribbles on there. Don't pay attention to that. But yeah, I'll hook you up with that. There's another. Here's the Gene Odom Blue Book. This particular book here, you got a lot of your pictures in there, right, Craig?
Yeah, Gene. When Gene was doing that book, he asked me for some pictures, and I gave him, I think, every picture I had, and he went through them and picked out the
Yeah, a lot of good pictures in here.
That one where Ronnie's on the phone and he looks like he's disgusted. I set him up for that one, and I was sitting there with my camera, and I said, "Hey, Ronnie, the telephone's for you." And he went and picked up the phone, and it was a busy signal, and he was that was his face looking at it like he was pissed off.
And I don't know if you can see this. Those are pictures of Gene, what Gene looked like after the plane crash.
Yeah, he went into the bank looking like that, and they called the police on him. He had that head thing
I don't think you can buy this book from Gene. He's having trouble getting these books remade, but you can go, I think, on maybe Amazon or on the internet and find it. This is actually a used copy that I got that Gene autographed for somebody else in 1985, and it's to Ken McManus. So if you're out there, Ken McManus, I have your book. If you want it back, I'll get Gene to put a fresh signature in there, and you can have it back. How's that? Yeah. So those those are some good books. Here's another Gene Odom book here, which you can still get from Gene. I believe he has these he carries around. And that same email that I held up, if you want to get that book from Gene, let me know. And I'll hook you up with that. And make sure you check those YouTube replies if you want to get those stickers. So that's just a little update. I don't think we've ever talked about books before, but I'm sure there's a ton of books out there, right, Craig? Lynyrd Skynyrd books.
And while I'm thinking about, February 2nd was my birthday, and I got so many responses from my birthday wishing me happy birthday, and I'd really like to, thank everybody for thinking about me on my birthday. I saw a woman yesterday at the Walmart, and I looked at her and I goes, I know who that woman is. I just can't think of who it is. And it just so happened we walked out at the same time, and I goes, I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from? And she said, we worked at Blossom together at Blossom Music Center. I go, oh yeah, that's where I know you from. And she said, I hope you had a happy birthday. And I don't think she's a friend of mine on Facebook. And I just was, I just wondered how she knew it was my birthday. I don't know why I was thinking about that. I forgot to ask her, how'd you know it was my birthday? But yeah, I get so many responses every day telling me, thanks for doing these podcasts. We just really appreciate you doing these podcasts, and then they're so entertaining, and we just love your podcast. We can't wait to do it until you do another one. And the response from these things, that's just kind of overwhelming. It's I try to do the best I can at it, and I really take it seriously, and I want to, like I've said before, I want to, put out all the skin information you want to know. It's on a Stone Roadie show, and Mike Estes is doing that our little theme song. He said he was working on it. That's kind of the way it rolls. But Yeah, it's really amazing that Lynyrd Skynyrd has created such a phenomenon that just seems to just keep steamrolling along. It just seems to be getting stronger
Here,
every year.
here,
It's been
Craig, here's a fact. I was talking to Dwayne Easley. You know, Dwayne Easley, he was on one of our podcasts, and he was kind of like the guy that, of course, he is his property. He donated for the monument, and I was talking to him on the phone about getting Craig down there on the 20th. And so he's trying to work it out so we can get Craig out to the crash site. But he was telling me that Google notified him, and I could be wrong on the number, but not by much. But I think it was 487,000 Google hits per month on the monument. That's yeah, that's amazing.
wow.
Yeah, that's just people researching and looking up the monument. So you know, Lynyrd Skynyrd, just like Craig's said before, he had stuff for sale on eBay from Foreigner and Marshall Tucker and Journey, but none of that stuff sells. It's all Lynyrd Skynyrd stuff.
Yeah, Lynyrd Skynyrd, any got anything that is associated with Lynyrd Skynyrd, just you know, it's highly collectible. You know, it's I don't suppose there's a whole lot of stuff around. I mean, Lynyrd Skynyrd only really lasted for those 3 years, really 70 through 73 up till not even 78. You know, so it was like 4 years is all that that they were out there, and God, it just seems like they just get more popular all the time, and it's just funny to think that you know, what would I be doing without Lynyrd Skynyrd, you know, or, you know, for that matter, what would I be doing without, if there would have never been a Ronnie Van Zant? So, you know, I kind of really, everything that's going on in my life, I kind of owe it to that man. You know, if it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be a Lynyrd Skynyrd, and there wouldn't have been an Ed King, and and I wouldn't have been with them. And, you know, it's kind of like my whole life has just kind of turned around, you know, and it's just like, it's just things that happen in my life just seem to be so coincidental that it's almost just too scary to be not the way it's written for my life to play out, you know. That's why this incident that happened to me the other day, I just you know, it was a bad thing that happened, but I try to make everything that happens in my life, I try to do something positive with it. It's kind of it's kind of hard to pull something out of positive out of a situation like that I had, but you know, I don't know, get on here. I don't know. I didn't really want to talk about this, and then and I kind of told Griff, I said, "What are we going to talk about?" He said, "Well, let's talk about your hospital visit." I goes, "God, I don't." You know, this is about Lynyrd Skynyrd. You know, I mean, people want to know about. They know I've been married 5 times. They want to know why I got divorced. You know, you know,
Just
five
so
times, and
just
they want to know a lot about my personal life. And I didn't start this to, you know, they said, well, heck with Lynyrd Skynyrd, just write a book about your life, man. It seems like you're quite a character and you get involved in a lot
well,
of
Craig,
stuff.
hang on a second, because I got to straighten this out a little bit. Because Craig goes, I said, "Hey, Craig, what do you want to talk about on the next podcast?" He goes, "Yeah, we go ahead and talk about my little antic with the brownies and stuff, right? And we can talk about that." And so I call him today, and then after I posted on Facebook, I said, "Hey, Craig's gonna do play-by-play about what happened to him. So I talked to him today, and he goes, "No, I don't want to talk about that now." So I said, "It's too late, man. I already posted it."
after you said we got to talk about that, I said, well, if we're going to talk about it, we might as well just talk about it. I was going to just make up this big tale about all the stuff and all about, all kind of stuff that actually kind of really did almost happen. And, while I was hallucinating, I had all kind of really strange thoughts, man. I really did.
Well, say, Craig, if you'd have never
for 2 days,
you say if you never met Lynyrd Skynyrd, you wouldn't be the Stoned Roadie, but would you still be stoned?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd probably, yeah. It's just hard to say, it's just hard to say what
That's
the heck.
because of Joe Biden. Really? I mean, Joe Biden. Joe Biden caused that, right?
Yeah, he made me eat brownies, man. I'm so
Yeah. Well, I can't watch the news anymore, so
oh my God, it's ridiculous.
We all have our fallout from it, but well, hey, do you want to get into some of these YouTube questions so we can get you off the hot plate about the brownies?
That's what the Stone Roadie show, all the skin information you want to know is on the Stone Roadie show. That's what this Stone Roadie show is about, giving skin information,
Skin information.
Not we're not,
and we'll have to give
kudos
to Mike Estes. Mike Estes,
antics of the Stone Roadie.
Yeah, Mike Estes coined the phrase "skin formation," so we have to give him credit for it.
Oh yeah.
But I was reading on the YouTube replies. Somebody they were getting a little. I think they were getting a little torqued off, and they said, you guys never answer any questions to YouTube. It's always Facebook. And I was thinking, well, we just missed a thumbs down on that one. That guy, he didn't give us a thumbs down. So this is for him. We're going to answer some.
It is kind of true though. We really, we started this for the Facebook crowd. We didn't start doing this. People from Facebook are the ones that kind of antagonized me to start doing these. And the other day you said it's our first year of doing podcasts. I said no, that's not until the March the 14th we did our first one for YouTube. But I guess we did 3 or 4 for Facebook before.
Yeah, those were pilots. Those were pilots.
We were just kind of goofing around, but our whole thing was, we started this for our Facebook crowd, and then we started doing some stuff for YouTube, and we thought, well, people said your show's going to be a hit. You're going to have a lot of subscribers and all this. And we started looking into, well, if we ever did make any money at this, we could, Griff or I, neither one started doing this for any financial gain, but we thought, well, heck, if something did happen, it'd be really cool if we could, help out some of the survivors. And we're still looking at that. And what we need to do is get over that magic number of 1,000 subscribers. I think we're at like 850 or something, and then YouTube will put us on another algorithm where we're seen by more people, and we pick up some subscribers. And gosh, I have people going, your Stone Roadie show is going to be a hit, man. It's going to be a hit. But we've not even been doing it a year. I mean, everybody said that you got to do it a year before you'll get 1,000 subscribers, and we're about a month away from it being about 5 weeks away from it being a year. So we might just hit that 1,000 mark if you know, I know what it's like. I watch a lot of I watch a lot of YouTube videos and stuff too, and everybody says like and subscribe, and it's not very often that I do. I mean, I admit that myself, but you know, we'd really appreciate it. We're trying to, you know, have a good cause come out of this whole thing. And like I said, I try to make everything that's a negative turn it into some kind of positive, and it'd be really cool if this thing would take off, and you know, we could help out. I heard Mark Howard's had some pretty serious issues here recently, and Leslie, she doesn't want to admit it, but she's had some issues, and Mark Frank and Paul Welsh, you know, he's had a bunch of problems, and there's quite a few people that could use some help, and we'd really like to do that. And yeah, so if you can just hit like and subscribe and get us over that 1,000 mark, we'd appreciate it. And then I guess from then on we're supposed to be in front of more people, and then we'll start getting more likes and subscribes, and you know, maybe we can get up there and get to 1 million subscribers one of these days. That'd be pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, the other thing you can do is go back and watch our last podcast and get all the information off of that podcast for Brandon Miller's guitar build and his efforts for donations to go to the new statue of Ronnie at the monument. You can take a look at that last podcast 57. And and you know, if you want to donate for that guitar, yeah, watch that podcast and those books that I just held up. You send me an email, I'll hook you up with some of those books. Those things help the survivors. You know, they help the monument, they help the survivors. And so you guys want to be interactive with helping, you can do that. So
oh yeah, Craig, Jeff, I have an audience here today. Jeff's sitting over here, and he goes, "Yeah," I said, "mention your business cards." Yeah, I had some Stone Roadie business cards made up, and I thought I could maybe create raise some money for the for the monument, and I got these business cards, and I said, you know, send $20 to Craig J. Reed at hotmail.com into my PayPal account, and for every $20 you send in, I'll send you a business card, one of my business cards, and I'm gonna sell 100 of them, and then I'm gonna number them, you know, 1 to 100, and then out of the $20 you send me, I'm gonna donate 10 of that. That's postage and everything paid, so I'm going to donate $10 of that to everyone. So if I do 100 of them, that'll be $1,000 that'll go toward that monument, and then the other 10 just for shipping and handling, and you know, and envelopes and stamps and all that other stuff, you know. But yeah, I thought I'd do that, and
that the rest of that money might help that emergency room bill a little bit.
yeah. I'll make a couple bucks on each card, yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, it's tough being the Stoned Roadie and living up to, you know. It's almost like that's one of the reasons Craig likes to mention about talking about fat a lot, because if fat people, if you know, if he didn't talk about that, he might get fat again. So he has to make fun of fat people, or to hold the record of his thinness. You know, he wants to keep that down. So that's why he does that. You ready to get into some questions, Craig?
Yeah, but Griff can tell you, when he brought those stickers up here for me to sign things is very stressful, you know.
Oh yeah.
My signature has to be perfect.
Yeah, it took him a while. It took him a while we could have spent probably another 2 or 3 hours at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but Craig was took him 2 hours to sign these stickers. So, but he's got a nice signature, and except for the one he put on this microphone, which it couldn't be any better. I had him sign this microphone for me because I'm gonna be getting rid of it pretty soon. But he struggled with that a little bit, but it's a little shaky. But it wouldn't be a Stoned Roadie signature if it wasn't a little shaky on there. So, you ready for these questions, Craig?
Alan used to say, "Shaky ain't shitting nobody."
Yeah, because you couldn't be shaky and be Alan Collins to be able to play guitar.
Yeah, let's take some of them questions.
Okay, here we go. This is from podcast 52. I think it says Music TLC is the person that's asking. It says, Craig, can you tell us about your techniques on setting up, stringing, intonation tips, on setting up guitars, the different players that you worked with and their special requests for setting their guitars up? Got anything on that?
You know, intonation. Alan used to sit there with a ruler and check from the nut to the 12th fret, and then from the 12th fret to the saddles, and that's supposed to be exactly the same distance between the nut and the 12th fret and the 12th fret and the saddle. Except for there's a little, I don't know, it goes this way, I guess. and yeah, but that's basic theory of intonation. It's the same distance from the nut to the 12th fret, and from the 12th fret to the saddle. That's the same distance. And then when you chime it at the 12th fret, or I used to do it on a strobe tuner. They don't have strobe tuners anymore, but you just get it to where it's steady right there. It's the same note.
Yeah, now they have the snark, which is like $20. Yeah, I don't even know if you know what a snark is. You know what a snark is?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's made things a lot easier.
But no, none of the guitar players that I worked, all the guitars I worked with on all the bands I worked for, they were mostly, there wasn't no special accessories put on them. They were just stock,
So whenever you handed them their guitar, it wasn't anything special that you had to do.
Gary's SG, the way he sets it up to play Freebird, he sets that up special. But no, that was just, they were all, every band I worked for was just always just straight 440 tuning. I didn't have to deal with any weird tuning. And that's that.
Okay, let's move into our second question. This is another question from podcast 52. Mark Regan. He asks, could Gary and Alan do back bends? Looks like they leaned way back when they played. Also, could Alan do an in-air toe touch? So I want to, I don't want to discriminate. I want to take all questions.
An in-air toe touch. I don't know.
Well, he could jump pretty high, so I think he could.
I don't know. I can imagine him trying it if you ask him, but he would try about anything.
But Gary, I noticed Gary when he plays, he kind of leans back.
Yeah, they did lean way
back. What he's talking about.
Yeah,
good, and then Alan leaned way back, when he was playing his guitar. And I guess the thing about that is they're showing you they don't need to look at the guitar while they're playing. They can do it without looking. So must be that, maybe that's got something to do with it. All right, another question from podcast 52. Ronnie 5129 asks, let me see. He says, I have sent Craig many emails. Does he reply to his emails?
Is that off YouTube?
Yeah.
Emails, I look at them. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I try to.
If you want to get him to answer, just at the subject matter, put brownie recipe. And the subject, when you send it, and then he'll answer it then, because he wants to figure out how to make a brownie that won't take him over the top.
I guess I'm not real good. Yeah, I don't. I get on YouTube every now and then and look at questions, and I look at a lot of Facebook stuff, and I don't know. Most of the people I know off of Facebook. I don't.
Well, here's a good question here, and I happen to know the answer to it. Donnie Collins asked, did Ed sell Red Eye? Okay, and I know that it did get sold. I don't know if Sharon sold. Yeah, like Sharon sold it after Ed died, I'm sure. But yeah, and don't answer that, Craig, because I'm going to give away a sticker to the first person that emails me the answer to that. I'll mail them a sticker. Make sure you send your address when you send your answer to that email. But don't answer that question, Craig, and we'll make a little interactive thing with YouTube people about that. So let's move on to the next question. This podcast number 32. Craig, are you going to have shirts and hats for the fans? Stoned Roadie shirts and hats.
Yeah. A while back I made some Stone Roadie shirts, in my opinion, and said in my opinion because I'm kind of known for saying in my opinion, but it got to be a pain in the butt because everybody wanted them signed, and it's a pain in the ass to sign a T-shirt
and to ship them too.
And it's just, so I just said screw it. They wanted me to write. Hey, they wanted me to write a book on the damn T-shirt. It's hard enough just to sign it, let alone going, hey, Joe from the Stone Roadie. Craig, it got to take me half an hour just to sign a shirt. So I just kind of quit. And
well, you have those cards now. You got those cards, so this is that's the easiest thing to send. So if you want a card, there you go. How those people going to get a card, Craig? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, I said just send $20. You want one that's numbered. I'm just trying to raise $1,000 for them.
But how are they sending it to where?
To Craig J. Reed, CRAIG, the letter J, Reed, REED, at hotmail.com. And as they come in, it'll show what order they come in, and then I'll just send them sign one of those cards and number it. Jeff, he got number one. He's
tell him on PayPal. That's your PayPal ID.
Yeah, that's my PayPal ID. Yeah, but yeah, Jeff, he got the first one. He was here when I thought about doing it, so he donated his $20.
Hey, ask Jeff, is there a way tell him to maybe hand him the mic and let him talk about how you can get it through Facebook. Those, if you contact him on the website through Facebook, at Jeff's website there for the podcast?
That's just the Friends of Leonard page.
Do what?
Nope, just email or just PayPal it to Craig J. Reed. That's all we
Okay.
have for
Is
right
that
now.
the only way to get it? Because I thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not yet. Now we have a Friends of Leonard page and we have a Stoned Roadie show page on Facebook, but it's not fully operational for commerce at this point in time. So
Okay. All right.
but
And
that's
the reason
coming in the future.
the reason you can't see Jeff is because he's got a brown paper bag on his head because he's the one that made the brownies. I'm just kidding.
There's Jeff over here. There he is. Automotive.
All right. Let me see here. We got another question. This is from a guy, podcast number 32. I don't know if it's a male or female. Midnight Light Company 4428 asks, is Craig selling any metal that was in his body with a letter of authenticity? That must have been back when you had that metal taken out of your arm.
My arm, and I said I was going to sell it, and they wouldn't give it to me. They said it was a biohazard. I don't know what that means. I wanted that plate out of my arm. I was going to sell it and autograph it, but they wouldn't give it to me.
That's like Eddie Van Halen had his hip replaced, and they gave him the piece of bone they cut off his hip. I read that. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, they wouldn't give it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that on the internet. So
I think the doctor took it and framed
I bet.
it. And it came.
Yeah.
This came out of the Stone Roadie.
Yeah, he probably did. He probably used it to spread his peanut butter with on his sandwich to get a buzz. Oh, okay. Then here's another question from podcast 28. Glenn 2573. Do you know when everyone will be at the monument, the guys that were on the plane? And that question I think was before the last monument celebration, the 20th, but there is some stuff coming up this next 20th. Craig is going to be there. Craig's coming.
Yeah, this will be my first time visiting down there. Yeah, it's
so he's going to be hanging out down there for about 4 days. So
I don't know anybody else that's going. Yeah, but I'm going to go a couple days early. Yeah.
Yeah, we're planning some stuff to happen down there, and so there's always something going on, and anytime you go there. So, but at the 20th, I'm gonna go
a couple of days early and meet up with Christina Anderson, the rose lady, the lady that would put the yellow roses out on the monument for a couple years and nobody knew who did it, and finally somebody caught her out there and put roses out there. Yeah, Christina Anderson. Yeah, I'm gonna meet up with her down there. She's gonna show me around.
Yeah, and we're gonna get Craig out to the crash site. We're working on that. Dwayne, he's getting permission from some people to be able to do it, because that crash site's kind of hard to get to now. There's like people that own property around it, and you'd have to parachute in there, and then once you get in there, Dwayne doesn't own that land anymore, and so somebody else owns it. So it's a big deal trying to get out there. So we're working on that, and they think they can do it. Got another one here. See, from podcast 37, user PM9BM. That's just so you guys know who asked the question. Did Ronnie ever give input on guitar or piano solos? Or did he let the guys just do what they want?
No, he didn't. Never tried to get involved in any guitar parts. I'm sure that he wished that somebody would offer some suggestions for lyrics, but no, I don't think he ever
So did you ever, Craig, did you ever hear
meddled
like
in.
if Gary was playing some chords or something, would he ever go, no, do it the other way that you did it before or something like that? Did he
No,
ever
I
do
don't.
that?
Ronnie wasn't an accomplished guitar player, so he wouldn't get involved in somebody's creativity. You know,
So he just kind
in
of
my opinion.
let them do whatever they wanted.
Yeah, I never seen him get involved in any, but guitar player's creativity on what to do.
All right. This next question comes from Coreyman4245 off of podcast number 37. Ronnie, Judy, and Ed lived in a tiny duplex on Beaver Street. It still looks the same as it was, and it was for rent not too long ago. And this guy evidently called the landlord, and he didn't know that those guys lived there, and it kind of freaked him out. And one of the reasons I read this comment is because I've got something from that place right here. And this came from that duplex. It's a mailbox. That used to be Ronnie Van Zant's mailbox right there. He probably got some royalty checks out of that thing, and that was at the at that duplex over there when they were refurbing it, and I kind of happened to go by there, and there was some things they were throwing out, and this kind of made its way into my car. So that's a little piece of history right there. I thought I'd share with you involving that question. So,
yeah, there's a couple of places where Alan lived down in Jacksonville, and I would next time I go down to Jacksonville, I'm gonna stop at a couple of houses that Alan lived in and see if the people are aware that Alan used to live there. Yeah.
well, I looked in that duplex when there was a guy doing floor work in there. I talked to him, and that was a tiny little place, man. I think it was a 1-bedroom with a tiny little kitchen and a tiny living room. And I'm thinking Ed King must have slept on the couch when they stayed there. So yeah, that was if Judy, if you're watching, hey, send me an email. Let me straighten me out. I don't know. Because she's the only one that can remember that's left. So maybe we can get some feedback from her. I got another person, Kyle Domini 5180, podcast number 37. Please talk about the Fox.
The Fox Theater. God,
Yeah.
I don't know what I can say about it.
Anything special happened there? I mean, I know Brandon, he loves that recording. That's why those guys went into the studio to make it sound just like the Fox. That, I guess the main thing was Steve Gaines had just kind of got in the band, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna mention. That Steve had just got with the band, and it was a big promotional thing. There was, when they weren't rehearsing or or whatever, they were. It was a lot of photography. It was photo shoots, and that's where the band and the crew all had our picture taken on stage, and there's a lot of pictures that came out. That was the whole time that it was just a big photo shoot. If they weren't rehearsing, they were doing photo shoots. It was a big deal. I mean, there was a sound truck there, so they could do that album, and Live at the Fox, and then that's when they people want to know why sometimes they see two microphones when there's a live recording going on, they goes, "Why is there 2 microphones?" You know, where Ronnie would be singing. One of them goes to the house PA, and the other microphone goes to the sound truck outside where they're doing the recording. So they have separate microphones.
But wasn't it that if you made it to the Fox, that was a pretty big deal?
Well, the Fox was closing.
The
I mean,
Fox,
that was the
or was it
save
even
the
a big deal to Ronnie
that
at
was
all?
that was the show to actually save the Fox. They were having some financial trouble, and Skynyrd, I guess, went in there and raised enough money to pull him, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know,
I didn't know anything about that. That's
yeah,
anybody want to research that?
Save the Fox, yeah.
Okay, let me see. Got Doug Harris, and this is a question from podcast number 20. How is Leslie Hawkins nowadays? I don't know if Craig can answer that or not.
No, I've tried to get a hold of her. We've tried to have her come on the podcast. She just she's in hiding. I don't know. I heard either her or her husband were having some health issues. I know she is, but I think maybe her partner did too. But I don't know. I haven't heard from her.
Yeah, I know a guy, Paul Connolly. He's kind of like a guy. He can get it. He's got like all kinds of memorabilia and stuff that
yeah, he's bought a lot of stuff off me.
Yeah, and I think he's the last person I know of that's been in touch with her. He got her to, I think, to sign some things, and so I hear she's, still around. I think she might be living in Georgia. I don't know. But anybody knows anything about Leslie, get in touch with me, and sure we'd like to know, because we don't really know. It's kind of
yeah, I haven't seen her since Gene's movie. When we did that little interview in Gene's movie. That's the last I saw her. Yeah.
Got another question here from podcast number 20, Derek Collins. Were there looters at the plane crash as bad as I heard? And,
yeah, there were people out there picking stuff up. Yeah.
You had some poker winnings in your pocket, didn't you, Craig? Like,
yeah, I had. I bought most of my suitcases got busted open, and there's a lot of stuff that I lost I lost my Coke spoon. They had a really cool Coke spoon that the record company made us. That had a skull and crossbones on the top and went down into a spoon. Yeah. I lost my Coke spoon.
Was that in your suitcase?
Yeah.
So if you're out
I had those Halliburton aluminum suitcases, and they busted open like beer cans. And yeah, most of my clothes that I got back were just, I pulled out of piles of clothes that were at the police station.
Do you still have those same suitcases?
I sold the suitcases. Yeah, they were bent up. I think I got $1,000 a piece for those suitcases that were all mangled. Yeah, they're aluminum. They look like crushed up beer cans.
Well, that would be a pretty good item to have.
I had
crash.
Three suitcases and a briefcase that I sold.
Well, that Coke spoon might be out in the dirt out there somewhere, but maybe it wasn't stolen. It might just made it. Somebody's going to go out there with a metal detector maybe and find that thing one day and think it's supposed to be for feeding a little baby. Okay. Oh, we see here. Got I guess their name is their handle is CCCCC, and they wanted to know
them before.
Yeah, they wanted to know, why did Alan Collins dress in white?
God, I don't know. When you're on stage, you can, if you got white on, you're kind of, you can be seen pretty good.
But didn't you one time tell me that Alan, he was on stage and he backed up to you and he said, "Hey, Craig, did I shit my pants?"
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did it. Yeah,
Did he?
No, huh? He said, I think I might have just shit my pants because of the show. And I go, no, I go, you need to start wearing underwear, I think, if you're wearing white pants.
That would be a tough one right there, if you were Alan Collins dressed in white and you did that. I mean, you'd have to face the crowd. You wouldn't want to turn around and you would want to turn around and look back there at Artemis or something, Well, that's it for the YouTube questions. That was 14 YouTube questions. So we're gonna periodically go back to YouTube and get questions off of there. That way it's, fair for the YouTube watchers, and you guys like and subscribe when you go on the podcast. Like Craig said, that'll help us out. We love to be able to make it to 1,000 before our year is up, but that's cutting it close though, huh? Got like 140 to go.
Yeah, we got something like that. I have faith that we'll make it.
Yeah, and
we'll be there soon.
And then who knows what's going to happen after that? Craig's signature will start getting more valuable, especially if he keeps eating those brownies. So you got anything else, Craig? You want to just wrap it up?
No. I'm about done. I'm still not recuperated from from my little incident. It kind of took the piss and vinegar out of me for a couple of days.
If it was an 11 out of 10,
I was still tripping the next day. I mean, I woke up and I didn't know what was. I had some really wild dreams, man. I thought about some really crazy stuff,
Fans are going to be wanting the recipe for those. So you might want to offer that up for the next show.
Well, I think Craig ate a few more than he should have. I think he was thinking he wasn't getting his brownies weren't potent enough.
Well, I'm not an amateur at eating brownies, but these were pretty strong. I've eaten gummies. I've eaten more gummies that people can't believe the amount of gummies that I've eaten, and because they would eat them and they'd eat one and say they didn't know what to do, and I'd eat 3 of them and it didn't even affect me.
I know for a fact he ate 3 and went on stage and didn't even bat an eye. So he is a professional.
But yeah, these well, like I said, we're at the end of this when we sign off here, Jeff's here and we're gonna try to edit in my birthday party, and you'll see the brownie, and we had some crappie. My buddy Sammy, he fishes for crappie all summer long, and then for my birthday every year we have a little fish fry that's part of my birthday party, and then Sammy actually hunts deer here on my property, right back there where Alan's car is sitting. He actually killed the deer that we cooked up and that he cooked up and we ate over there at the party. And man, I'll tell you, that was the best deer meat I ever ate in my whole life. And it was killed about 100 yards from where I'm sitting. That's pretty cool,
Ted Nugent would like to hear that, right?
Yeah. Oh, it was good, man. That was the best deer meat I ever
Ted's welcome to come down and hunt down here if he wants to. So Ted, if you're listening.
Yeah, I think Ted's got his own farm with, he's got exotic animals that he shoots.
Yeah.
All right, Craig, I guess we'll wrap this one up, man. You got your
All
clicker?
right, then I guess it's time for my my departure song. It's from my buddy Roy Rogers, and it goes something like this. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to y'all, and may the good Lord take a liking to you. Until next time on the Stone Roadie Show, and we're outie here. Thank you very much. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, Stone Roadie. Happy birthday to me. Yay!
Stone Roadie, happy birthday. Well, if you weren't afraid to get your boat wet.
Well, I've been here 5 minutes and there's 2 pieces of cake missing. I wonder who ate those 2 pieces of this special cake. Ha ha ha! Don't look at me. That's some pretty good brownie. I keep eating the corners of it. I don't want to cut into the artwork, but it's good. It's special cake too. Oh hell. Here we are. Cammy's cooking up some crappie out of Nemisilla and Portage Lakes in Summit County, Ohio, for my birthday. There's the cook, Sammy. How about that? That's what the fish turned out to look like. Some of that crappie from caught right in there, right around near where I live. Looky here, looky here. Here we are at the Stone Roadie 72nd birthday party, and this is the best deer meat I've ever eaten in my entire life, and it was killed right in my backyard by my buddy Sammy and cooked over here at my birthday party. And it is really something else. This is Kevin's 1983 Mustang that's basically been in his family all of his life. And he's running a 347 cubic inch engine with well, it's a 302 board to a 347, but he's pretty much had it his whole life. Looky here, looky here. This is what's left of the special Stone Roadie brownie made for me for my 72nd birthday.